Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about media kits and why you need to make one. So if you aren't aware, a media kit is a little bit like a photographer's CV. You send it out to prospective clients and it's a brief document that outlines a little bit about you, what you do, your services, maybe your prices, and then any other insights or demographics that are going to help them understand who you are and what you can offer. I can't stress enough just how important they are and how they do land you more work. Having the ability to send this out to a client helps them to learn who you are and what you can do. A lot of the times, even if they haven't asked for it, I would probably send this out to a client in the response email. So if they get in touch and say, "Hi, I would like to work with you," I usually respond back saying, "Great, would love to get in touch and discuss further. Here's my media kit so you can learn more about me." That way, we're just on the same page. They know the full services because maybe they've got in touch just about one specific aspect of your business, but you can offer them so much more. There's a few different things that go into making a media kit. First of all, it should be an introduction about you. Nothing too lengthy, we don't need the life story, but it wants to be an outline just so that whoever's reading it gets an overview of who you are pretty much straight away. Next up, you want to talk about the services you offer. Tell them what you can do, your experience, and roughly outline how you can work for them. I'd maybe look at including some examples of work so they can see the type of work you do. Remember, you don't just want to focus on those Instagram bangers here. You're trying to show a variety of different stuff. So you want to mix up product shots with landscapes, with detail shots, models, like anything that you've got that will show your full range of skills. Insights. Now, this is something that I think is particularly important if you are stepping into influencer Instagram type work. It's important to show who your audience is, and having a small section on your insights means that you can very quickly communicate with someone there, like what your following is. So I would suggest on this including potentially your total number of followers, maybe your weekly reach, your weekly impressions, maybe your engagement rates. You can go into a bit more detail and show your male-female split, or maybe the age ranges of your audience, where they're located, all this information that's going to be super rich to a client who wants to work with you. I'd also try to include a client list just so that whoever's looking at it can quickly scroll through and just see. There's a cat over there. Let's have a quick look at this cat. I'd also try to include some of your clients so that anyone who looks in it can see some of the people you've worked for. It's definitely going to help if they see that they're a similar brand, or just that you've worked with some big time clients is always going to be good. Pricing's a bit of a difficult one with media kits. Some people like to have their prices in there, some people don't. I have prices in mind just because I think it's a nice way of letting a client know what you potentially charge for work, especially because you can send it to them and then they get the idea without you having to go through that awkward process of telling them what you were going to charge. They can get the idea straight away before they've even agreed to work with you. You could also look at including some testimonials in there. If you do have a client that speaks quite highly of you, maybe look at including that. You're basically trying to sell yourself with your media kit. You're trying to give someone a 1-page, 2-page document that they can read and go, yes, we want that guy. So what we're going to do now is look through my media kits and show you the different things I've chosen to include in there and why I've chosen to do certain things one way and not another. So this is my old media kit, which I made in InDesign, which allowed me to do quite a lot with the layout and make it look nice and professional and neat. So on the cover here, we've just got a nice striking image, my name, media kit, no messing about, you know exactly what it's for. The next page is a bit like the CV, I guess. You've got at the top all the details you need to know about me, about section if you want to do any reading, services I offer, then got a little client list, some basic rates, and then down the side here we've got Instagram stats, audience figures, things like that, anything people might want to know to work with you. I've then got an introduction to my portfolio, and then there's several pages of images that all feature sort of one little shoot location and then shows the different type of content generated there, trying to show a variety of different types of shots so potentially a client could see their product, their clothes, their car in the images. I was forever tired of having to update these figures every time I sent it out to someone, where, you know, this was during a time where Instagram was really flying, and you know, I was gaining followers so fast that I had to update this every single time, which meant opening InDesign, editing the numbers, and then exporting a PDF again. You're also never really sure how someone's going to be viewing this, whether they're going to print it out, whether they're going to look at it on a desktop or on a mobile. So I was never sure quite on whether it should be landscape, portrait, how big the text should be. You know, it's always going to be changing. You don't have control over how someone looks at it. So what I actually did to solve all these problems was to make my media kit again, this time as a website. At the top, you've got a nice Big image, striking again, no messing about, so exactly what it is. Moving down, we've got the About section again. Services. Got client list across the middle. We've then got the Instagram Insights section. This time I wrote a little bit of code using Instagram API just so that it displays some of these figures for me, so I don't have to update these every time I send it out. It's just live. We've got the portfolio introduction, and then there's just a range of different types of shots that just show the type of work I do. Again, we're trying to show some product shots, some more clothing, maybe automotive, like adventure stuff. Just trying to give a nice variety so that people can really see everything you can do. Down the bottom again, I've got my basic day rates. And then because this is online, I've also got a contact form here so someone can get in touch straight away. The other benefit of it being online is I can have these links at the bottom permanently in there. So if anyone does want to get in touch, it's nice and quick. And because it's built on a website, it can be responsive. So no matter what size you're viewing it on, you'll always be able to see the content, and it'll even change down to a little mobile friendly version too. So that was the reason I rebought mine online. It's a little bit advanced, a little bit more than I think is probably needed for most people. But I just found that for me it was probably the best solution. And it always helps to stand out from the crowd and do something a little bit differently. So there's my two media kits, the old one and the new one, which I think are like an invaluable source of information you can send out to a client, whether you've worked with them before, whether it's a new client, whether they're interested in just Instagram work or if they're interested in a shoot. It always helps you able to show everything you can offer. If you are looking for any information on media kits, there is loads online. I would just search photographer media kit, which brings up quite a lot of things you can gain inspiration from. There's also quite a few templates online for various different softwares, whether it's Word, InDesign. There's plenty of different templates out there. If you do want to share any with me for any feedback, please feel free. Just drop me an email. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.